And you can't see me on the likeness. You can proceed with precaution. Give the proceeds to my god kids. Older on my conscience. Same my pop is. Lame when the pop get drop quick. Buy drop kid. Why you gotta lie to me so much, babe? You tell me the same that you told what's his name. If it don't work out, I go back to hustling. Couple 100,000 up in my mother's name. Peace, what peace? Talk about don't shoot. Tell that to police. Scared and underprepared, I can see. Promise I'ma get them comments before I decease. I never wanted to ever be over. I'm not a Philly, I thought it'd be colder. I might need a chauffeur. Oh, what you do? I don't know. Oh no, no, hold up. Pull my out the jaw, come on. Now who are you? I don't know, no, what you do? I don't know, no, you short a few. Oh no, no.
Hey, Pete, let it ride out.
They were my business on the front page.
Headlines.
I threw prescription in Dior frames.
Sunshine.
I had the vision back in 12th grade.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we come to you from one of the truly iconic stadiums in the NFL as you get a look at Lambeau Field here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. It's been a great start to the season, back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out playing good fundamental football, and that might carry them a long way.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
All right, here we go.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opened things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good. That middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
And the Buffet boys, the O-line. Hopefully they're ready today.
All right, here we go.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a
big loss here as he's taken down. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. And there it is, sack number 201. He has broken Bruce Smith's all-time record.
For a lot of us, we wondered if anyone would get to that record. But the way teams are throwing the ball around, more opportunities for these sack artists to accumulate numbers, and we've seen the biggest number of all eclipsed today.
Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. As we get a look at a guy who grew up in Florida, played his college ball, of course, in Louisville. It's the electric Lamar Jackson.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some, they threw it accurately. One touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. A very good move, but for a short gain out near the 32. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Saquon Barkley, and he'll be tackled at about the 35. The 1st-round pick, Jair Alexander, making the tackle. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
A 1st down carry for Barkley. Room to run inside the 40. And down to the 19-yard line. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a 1st down. You were telling me this yesterday. That's exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game. And it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early. This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Carlson now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Telvin Smith in from his linebacker's spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
They'll set up to throw. They've got his man complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver.
And they'll go on the ground. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
They're going to look to throw. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. The Vikings now heading onto the field. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. And look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
The pitch goes to Barkley. Oh, good footwork on the spin. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
Partner, those are back-to-back 6-yard runs, and if they're going to continue to get those types of plays, shoot, you just keep running the same stuff, don't you?
That was 1st and 10, then 2nd and 4. Now 1st and 10 again. The toss out to Barkley, and he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd. 2 minutes to go here in the 1st half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. On the run, it's Barkley. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. Call it 7 yards on the carry, so a pretty good game, but still left with a tough 3rd and 8.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Back 99 Philly, here we go.
On 3rd down, Jackson on the move to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
I like his effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the 1st down. The 20. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Saquon Barkley, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, It almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there. Now the Packers get set to go. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Adams. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half.
Hurry up, here we go. 3:19.
Back to throw now on first down. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. Even though he's a 4th rounder, I think he might have a chance to play and prove that, hey, I could have been taken higher in that draft.
And we've seen so many times now, guys who go lower in the draft, undrafted free agents that become big-time players, Pro Bowl players. So you never know. 4th-round pick has a chance to be a really good player.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get it.
Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Daniil Hunter. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Offside, defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And they extend their lead, a little added cushion into the lockers. What a way to finish.
Tremendous way. That's momentum that they carry in with them. Can they convert it and bring it back out to start the 3rd quarter?
Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. From there, let's hop over to New England. Check out the Patriots at home in Foxborough. And it's the visiting Jets who have the lead in that one. Sam Darnold has thrown a touchdown pass. Finally, let's get out to the Bay Area. See what's happening with the Raiders at home in Oakland. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Chiefs. A touchdown pass there for Derek Carr. In the game you're watching, we've seen a strong first half out of Lamar Jackson. His guys have a 3-touchdown lead as we're about ready to go into the second half. And to get you through it, we give it back to Brandon Gaud.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Jackson on first down. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill that time. And it's third down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays up.
He's got a man complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That goes as a gain of 37 on third down.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
And Hill with it over the middle. Hill's hit, and he lost the football. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Now a play fake here on first down. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
He's got Adams on the hookup. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Here we go now.
They go play action here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Here we go now. Blue 90.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Garrett, and he gets it down to the 32. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a 1st down when you want 3. Get a little bit closer, make it an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
And now out comes Minnesota. And last time, the fumble, the turnover. Now they still have the lead, but I don't think coaches care. The turnovers will bother them no matter what the scoreboard says.
That's the relief, that you still have the lead.
Right, now,
but coaches look at what if and what it should be. Turning the ball over when they've got a chance to score more points and increase the lead, that's what's going to affect them.
And they're also thinking to future weeks, maybe when the game's closer, right?
No doubt about it.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 14. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away, now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And this belongs to the Vikings.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football.
Lucky 56. Gone.
After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Kenny Clark in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Throwing is Jackson. And he's going to go down again.
So when you have good field position to start a drive and you give up back-to-back sacks, that can be demoralizing for a team.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Watch it now, Barney.
Jackson from the shotgun. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
4 down. All right, here we go. 3-19.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's going to be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to take us to the end.
Set! Green 39! Green 39!
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Looking sideline, incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
Here we go now.
He'll drop to throw. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. Now, the previous drive they punted, but that was just the first time they've had to do so in this game.
And when they turn on the game film, the coaches will rant about this, right? They'll say, oh, God, we got to move the ball, guys. We can't punt the ball away. But they'll have to keep smiles off their faces because that's the first time in the game they've had to do so. They've moved it quite well. They'll overall be happy with what they've seen.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
That'll go as a loss of 5, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know. Defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it. They want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost a big chunk, 6 yards there, and it leads to 4th down. Well, good luck there as a ball carrier. You get handed that football, look up, oh, there's a big D tackle ready to swallow you whole for a loss.
Well, you got to count on your guys to give you at least a little bit of time, a little bit of space to try and maneuver, but not on that one. And when you have a defensive tackle who is that strong, that agile, he's a lot to deal with. Sometimes you have to double him, and sometimes you're not able to block him no matter who's trying.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. Going deep downfield for Ross. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. Flushed out right. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
The Vikings on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. They go play action with Jackson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. They're going on 4th down. It's Jackson. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. That is caught inside the 5. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They got to just take a deep breath, relax.
Trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Jackson. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
Well, that wasn't a completion, but it wasn't a sack either. So the good takeaway, able to extend the life of the play. Normally, you would think he'd just take off and run downfield, but he was trying to find an open receiver, unable to do so.
Play action. Now Jackson. That's complete to John Ross. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. They give him a gain of 38.
A lot of receivers see the drag route as a risk-reward type of a play. The risk, going into the middle of the field where there's some big people want to hit you. But the reward is oftentimes you get lost in coverage, running a little bit underneath. And
he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will swell by one more. Carlson now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
first down. He'll drop to throw. The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
I felt that one all the way up here. How about that big man laying out and making that catch?
Yeah, that wasn't a 180-pound wideout. That was a tight end. This quarterback now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. They'll set up a throw. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he'll get it down here to the 43. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. They'll drop the throw. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Picked off at the 15. Facing this 4th quarter deficit, felt like they had to throw the ball, and on the other side, they were ready.
No doubt about it. They're playing situational football. They look at the clock, they know the lead that they have, and all they're doing is playing pass on every down.
Playing the pass, picking it off, and now big time in the driver's seat. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Eluding the pressure right. Keeps himself upright. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with this one. I struggle. But on the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I'll guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points from me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Vikings, it's back-to-back victories now after the Week 1 defeat as they move to 2-1. And they'll return home next week to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they too will exit with a 2-1 record. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on